Well, good morning. Does God really love you? Well, welcome to Timeout this morning. Thank you for joining me. If you push the subscribe button on the YouTube channel, thank you. If you share and comment, you are helping me to make social media a more positive source. And Timeout is all about being positive and sharing the positivity. So thank you very much. Now this morning, does God really love you? And what's the difference between loving God and being in love with God? And so don't go away. I'm going to share the difference with you in a while. Now, before I do, let me just quote a scripture in Jeremiah 31 verse 3, where Jeremiah, the prophet, says, "In times past, the Lord said, I have loved you with an everlasting love, and I've drawn you with unfailing kindness." So God has always loved you. Even when you had no part to play in the decision, it was a decision of God's will to say, I love you. And John 3:16, it says, God so loved the world. Long before you and I had a decision to say we choose to be part of this decision, God made a decision in His will to love you. And so that's the one side of love, is to make a decision. But there is another side of love that is as critical and is even more exciting, and it is being in love with God. And that's not about a decision of your will, it's an emotion. And although our soulish realm has our will, where we make decisions, it also has a seat of our emotions, and that emotion is about our passion. And passion is a powerful contributor towards love. And so I want to ask you this morning, are you passionate about God? Because He is passionate about you. And passion is an emotion. And can I describe it this way and use my own life as an example? This year, my wife Shani and I have been married for 40 years. And if you said to me, Jack, in the 40 years, have you always loved your wife? The answer would be pretty easy, because I will say to you, yes, because I made a decision in my will to love my wife. But if you change that question and you asked me, Jack, in the 40 years, have you always been in love with your wife? It would not be such an easy question to answer, because you see, that's about passion. You're saying, have you always been passionate about your wife, Shani, in 40 years? And you see, when it comes to passion, it's about relationship. You see, my will is something I can decide, but my passion is something I have to practice. And you see, how do you become passionate about somebody? How do you become passionate about God, you may ask? Because you may say, God's given you a will and He's got a will. God has emotions and He has passion, and so do you. You have a will and you have an emotion and you have passion. And so in your relationship, you may say, how do I bring passion into my relationship? How do I know? You see, so does God love you? Yes, He made a decision to love you outside of your choice. But is He passionate about your lifestyle? That's what you have to ask. And are you passionate about God? And that's a different question, because you see, to be passionate with somebody, you have to have a relationship with them. And to have a relationship with them, the three key things is, the first one would be, you have to spend time with that person. And then you have to ask yourself, what is it that really makes that person happy? And then after you know that, you have to say, what can I do to help make that happen? And you see, just like you are asking that when you have a relationship with God. And if I had to ask you this morning, if you're a Christian, do you love God? It's easy, yes. But if I had to ask you, are you passionate about God? You may just say, Jack, my relationship with God isn't what it should be. I haven't spent enough time with Him. I haven't asked Him what makes Him happy. I haven't gone out to say, after I know what makes Him happy, to do something about it. But you see, just like you asked that question, God is also asking in relationship, what makes you happy? God also wants to spend time with you to find that out, and then to say, what can He do to put a smile on your face after He knows that? because that's what relationship is. Relationship is all about keeping the passion going. And that is the $1 million question about whether, does God love you? Yes. Is he passionate about you and your relationship? Well, that's a question that you must answer. So next time, you see, when somebody asks you, think about this. Your status as a Christian is never questioned because God made a decision in his will to love you. But your relationship with him is determined by your passion. So next time somebody asks you, do you love God? You can say yes. And they can say, are you passionate about him? You can say yes, because I'm spending time with him. I'm hearing what makes him happy. I'm going out and doing those things. And you're not just saying, I'm passionate about him, but I know that he is passionate about me. My name is Windt. You've been watching Timeout, and I'll catch you next week.